welcome back to my channel, Mythic Rose Tarot. It's lovely to have you joining me today. We are doing another pick a card reading, and today's topic I think is a beautiful one because what we're doing is what makes you beautiful. What's beautiful about you. So this could be something innately about your personality that's beautiful, maybe some way in how others perceive you to be beautiful. It could be physically, or your energy or your essence, really anything that makes you beautiful. And today we have 4 pick a card piles. We'll have pile 1, 2, 3, and 4 for you to choose from today. So first off, I just want to thank everybody for being here. And then also just a reminder too, I'm an intuitive reader as well, not any sort of licensed, therapist, counselor, or doctor. So all the messages you might find in these different piles are here to support your inner knowing, okay? Not replace your own judgment. So if something resonates, let it affirm what you're already feeling deep down in your heart, in your gut, intuitively. And if it's not resonating, feel free to leave it behind too. So if you click on any of the piles and it's not resonating, that's okay. You can jump to another pile or even a different video too. But hopefully there's going to be a message for you today. So let's zoom in on the different cards and the different crystals. And then I'll give you about a minute to meditate on the energies of the different cards, okay? So again, the question is, what makes you beautiful? And this is a message from Spirit, from the universe, okay? Channeled message. So pile number 1. First off, this is your crystal. So for this pile, you might be drawn to the number 1, to this particular quartz crystal. Or to this card with the lotus flower of enlightenment. Okay, pile number 2, we have fluorite. And there's actually some green. I don't know if you can see it. There's green, clear, and purple colors in this crystal. And we have the orchid with sensuality. Sensuality, pile number 2. Pile number 3. Oh my gosh, I'm forgetting the name of this one, but it's a rainbow. Is it onyx? It's some sort of rainbow. I'll in the pile, I'll tell you more specifically pile number 3. But here we go. We have a beautiful green, orange, yellow stone for you. And we have the iris with iridescent muse. Iridescent muse. And we have pyrite last. Pile number 4, pyrite, and honoring oneself. These yellow flowers. Okay, I'm going to give you about a minute now to pick your pile intuitively. And you can pick based on number, based on the flower on each card, or based off of the crystal that's really drawing you in. Remember to pick with your intuition and not just with your eyes, okay? The timestamps for each pile will be in the description below. So without further ado, I'll see you in the reading. Hi, pile number 1. Welcome to your reading. So this is your pile, if you picked, of course, pile number 1, if you were drawn to the lotus flower, or if you were drawn to the clear quartz crystal. So today, the question we're looking into is, what makes you beautiful? What's beautiful about you, about your soul, about your physical appearance, about the way you move in the world? What is beautiful about you? So, just in the interest of full disclosure, for my last video, I didn't even think about it, but of course some tarot cards do have more like exposed features on them. So it did get flagged, my last one, for to be like 18 plus restricted. So just in the interest of full disclosure, I did already flip through these pre-shuffled cards just to cover up anything that could flag it. So I'll probably do that going forward, because once I get going, I forget to maybe cover something up, you know, chest or anything like that. So if you see as I flip them over, if something's covered up, that's why. So let's just get started. There are more oracle cards today, pile number 1, than tarot cards. Just one tarot card for each pile today. Because I really want to look at I was just really drawn to looking at the oracle cards, looking at the messages from nature, messages from kind of environmental energy about what makes you beautiful. Okay. I'm also going to roll, so I'll just do it right now before I forget. I want to roll for a sign and house 2. This is partially for confirmation, but you don't have to have this sign or, you know, this house placement. So let's go for maybe what sign and is of particular importance when it comes to your beauty. Okay, so I think we have Sagittarius here. Okay. And maybe what house could be of particular importance. Okay, 3rd house. So in your communication with other people. So we have some house and sign. Okay. Now you could have like Gemini in the 9th house, or Sagittarius in the 3rd house, or, you know, different planets in these particular houses, or planets in these particular signs, like for example Venus in Gemini, or Venus in Sagittarius, okay, or Venus in the 3rd house, or Venus in the 9th house. So to me, already what I'm seeing is you have very beautiful mental energy, you have very beautiful communication, and really beautiful ideas, okay? And you know, I think everybody's probably heard it said that those who think beautiful thoughts and have beautiful ideas and keep a practice of thinking beautiful things, that reflects outwardly. And I think with you, this is particularly true, especially with this clear quartz crystal. Also, the lotus as a flower is a flower that emerges and grows completely clean from mud or very dirty environment. And so to me, this just shows that you have such a purity of thought and of heart, and this kind of mental heart connection that's very beautiful. So the way you communicate with other people, I feel like you're probably not somebody who swears very often. I think everybody swears sometimes, but I'm also getting this message that you kind of even have a pure vocabulary. So people might say that to you sometimes, like if you do swear, people might be like shocked that you did. But you just in general have a very light energy, okay? Very pure energy. Okay, let's get going. Also with the lotus, this is very heart-centered energy. So I'm kind of getting Libra too. I'm really feeling a lot of air-earth energy dominance in this pile so far, as we interpret. So let's flip everything over so you can see. We have crystals with focus. We have the Democrat, so a particular kind of wild rose here, okay, the Carolina rose. We have the 20th path, the Hermit. So this is related to Virgo energy, which again is Mercury ruled. We have 7, Netzach with victory. 7th path. We have Tifereth, beauty, balance, sacrifice, and joy. Lots of Libra energy coming through in this pile. Oh, okay. We have 2 of Cups as your one tarot card that I pulled. to represent what's beautiful about you. We have Earth Rabbit. Okay, so kind of a seconding of these crystals and this nature energy. Let me kind of arrange things a little bit more intuitively for me. Okay, and then we also have Saturn in, I believe that's Capricorn, but let me double check that. With the 10th house, I believe it's Saturn in its kind of home placement there. A third house reflection here, and then fourth house. So 10th house, third house, and fourth house. We have Venus in Gemini and Venus in Cancer. So again, a lot of Venus energy. So this can also be Taurus, but I'm especially feeling air earth dominance here. So you could be somebody, if your chart is very ruled by air energy and earth energy in prominent houses, this could be for you today. Now, you don't have to have those placements. It can just mean that things are kind of expressing in this way to help me read the energy. Okay, so the first thing I want to say about your once everything's laid out here, the first thing coming to mind is that you truly do have a beautiful presence, okay? People feel very seen and heard by you. You are an expert at creating space for other people, especially with this Hermit here. And with this duality energy all over the place, right? So with the Venus in Cancer, we've got the Sun and Moon balance, being kind of emotionally balanced. We have the Janus god here with the Venus in Gemini. So being able to see both sides and hold both sides. We've got a lot of Libra energy here, Venus. We've got being able to see it and make others feel heard emotionally. So lots of really balanced energy. The Democrat, that's very Libra, to be very democratic, very harmonious environment in harmony with the seasons. To have been able to go through and think about things and experience life and then come out more enlightened as the Hermit does. So those are some confirmations kind of astrologically of the energies that you might have strongly in your natal chart or just, in transits maybe in your life. But you have a very beautiful presence. You make other people feel seen and heard, and that's something that's very beautiful. It attracts people to you. With all this Venus energy, I think you have very like a conventionally very beautiful, I would say, like face. Okay, so I would say you have balanced features. Okay. With the Venus in Cancer too, I think you probably have a nice figure, okay? Just saying, for the physical things people might say about you that are attractive. They might especially compliment your, like your kind of like clavicle area, chest, things like this. Really notice them, be very nice physical attributes. I think too, though, you're quite modest of a person. Especially with the Hermit kind of being covered in the shroud. When I look at the different imagery I see, I think you're pretty modest. I don't think you're always like showing off your figure or anything, but I think you do have a nice figure, like soft, very feminine, and curvy sort of an element. And then if you're a masculine energy, these same kind of energies can apply. It doesn't have to be that you're a man or a woman. So if you're a masculine energy, again, you might have a really nice chest, or you might find that you can like build good muscle easily in your chest if you were to start working out there. You might also just find that there's a softness about you that is kind of attractive to the opposite gender. So doesn't matter, masculine or feminine, just interpret it with the energy that you have, but there is a softness that's very alluring and draws people to you. You probably look very beautiful in, I think you look very beautiful, I can see in the different cards here, in greens, and pinks, and some purples are kind of coming through too. So you might look very beautiful, especially in soft kind of, very soft kind of Venus colors here. Okay, Something else, there's so many messages coming through. There's so much that's beautiful about you. So you communicate in a very soft way, even though you have this kind of Gemini energy, which sometimes is very fast moving or says what it thinks pretty quickly, or even Sagittarius can be kind of blunt. I think you say the truth, but you say it gently. You say it in a way where you always prioritize and maintain the relationship, and you make other people feel emotionally safe. You are somebody, I also feel that you have a lot of tact, okay, when you approach, maybe difficult subjects, and maybe sometimes you even speak from experience, or you'll show if there is something kind of more harsh you need to say to somebody, you'll maybe talk about first how you've gone through the same thing, so that they know you're not just pointing it out to point it out and be mean. They know maybe you're pointing it out because you have gone through it. You have kind of gone through the mud, so to speak, and emerged on the other side, kind of clean on the other side. So you do have wisdom to share. So you're very good at getting people to listen to you and to take your advice. And I have to say, I feel like people do take your advice. A lot of times, people will come to us for advice, or to many of the different kind of energies in the world, and seek advice but not take it. But I actually feel that people do take your advice to heart more often than not. Maybe not all the time, but definitely sometimes. Okay, something else. I think that you're an amazing friend, and that's you create beautiful friendships with people around you that you like. So I'm seeing that energy in so many places, like the Gemini, the Sagittarius kind of houses and energies here. You create friends when you go abroad. You create friends in your community. You are the kind of person, despite having this kind of Cancer and Virgo energy, or even the Capricorn energy here, I do feel you're somebody that like talks to the like the barista in the cafe, and you're not above making small talk, because you know that it creates you like creating a little bit of beauty in every day, like bringing in beauty from nature, like these crystals. You might enjoy having crystals and bringing flowers into your space. It's the same thing with conversation. You like to drop a little bit of beauty in conversation. I feel like with flattery here, with the Venus and Gemini, I think you give compliments easily. So that's something people think is really beautiful about you, is that you see beauty everywhere, and you comment on beauty everywhere and help call attention to the beauty around you and the beauty in nature. I feel you have a very deep love for nature and the balance and symmetries of nature. Of course, maybe the asymmetries too. Nature's not perfect, but especially with these crystals, I think you might have a knack for bringing elements of nature into harmony, especially within the home with Cancer here in the fourth house energy. You might love having people over and having your friends over, and you create a very beautiful environment that's very safe for people to come over. So very kind of moon, Venus, and Mercury kind of working together in a really beautiful way in your chart. Could be, or you just really embody these energies. Okay. Let's keep going. So I think too, something that's very beautiful about you is that you laugh easily. So you laugh at other people's jokes. I'm not sure, looking at this energy, I don't know if you're always the one making jokes, like to lighten the mood or anything like that. I think you're a little bit more focused on like beauty, gentleness, and things like this. But you laugh easily, and people appreciate and love you for that, because it makes them feel good, okay? So it's kind of like the art and the beauty of conversation and going with the flow. I also think too, you do have creative flair. So that's something that's beautiful about you, is you have an eye for beauty. So perhaps not just with design, like interior design, but I think you dress beautifully. You dress in colors that complement each other. You might know some like art theory to help bring things into balance. So you have like beautiful dress and kind of color sense, okay? You know intuitively what looks visually good together, and what makes a room feel a particular way. You have this very good kind of emotional sense of aesthetics, and how aesthetics make people feel. It's very intuitive for you. You also are very mothering, I have to say. And so people find that very beautiful about you. It's like you're a beautiful kind of mother that brings that. I think you're the kind of person where you have a kind word to say about everybody, and you believe in people. You believe in their potential. And that is quite rare, and that's very beautiful. Okay. You're also very fair with this energy. Also, too, just look at this. We have like literal beauty, balance. This very, very Libra. You just are somebody that I think also has a beautiful smile. I think you have a beautiful face, I have to say. You might get compliments on your facial features quite regularly. Okay. Maybe also how you do your makeup as well, if you do any makeup, or, how you style yourself, how you appear in the world. You really have a beautiful atmosphere around you too. You're very calm, you're very peaceful. It takes a lot to rock you, okay? To send you into like emotional upheaval or being unbalanced emotionally. That would take a lot to do that. Something else that's beautiful about you is I feel like you are good at keeping things moving. Like keeping the conversation moving, making sure there isn't periods of like awkwardness. So like you're very graceful socially, not just in how you move, but like socially you're very graceful. I think you're beautiful too. I actually think, I said before you might like have a knack for making your makeup beautiful. However, especially like looking in the mirror here, right? Like beautiful makeup or things. However, what I have to say with all this nature energy and this energy of focused on being, on a more spiritual path too, especially with these crystals, refining and focusing things, this crown chakra energy with the lotus, with the amethyst crystals, with the hermit path. What I feel, and especially this like rabbit, right, being in harmony with the seasons of nature. Oh my gosh, I totally lost my train of thought. Let me recover my train of thought here. Oh yes, you don't need makeup. That's my point. You have a natural beauty about you. So as long as you do the basics of like, brushing your hair, brushing your teeth, which I think you do with all the energy I'm seeing here, as long as you're taking care of your physical body, you don't really need makeup. Like you will get compliments even without wearing makeup. So even if you don't wear makeup, people might not say to you like, oh, are you sick today or do you look tired? Because truly you have an inner beauty that just shines through. So if you go on camping trips or if you're like out in nature, being close to nature, you also look more beautiful. So like in nature, you look especially beautiful, and in your home, you look especially beautiful. In your community too, there is some third house energy here. But even like going out to the coffee shop with like your hair, maybe you like put up with a pencil or something like that as you're working on a project, you still look very good and put together. Even with like limited resources around you. You're very good at using what's around you to enhance your beauty, is what I'm trying to say. Now, I think also you're very nurturing, and that's a very beautiful quality about you because people feel very safe around you. I think too, I think I already said you give compliments easily, and that's very beautiful. So you notice the beauty. I just want to say too, I really feel like your outer beauty does reflect your inner beauty that you're seeing here, like in the mirror. You are somebody that cultivates very beautiful thoughts in your mind, okay? And that is something people do notice. It's something that does make you very beautiful. I think you have a lot of self-love and grace for yourself and for other people too. So although you might not forgive everything, I have a feeling that you understand, because you have all this dual energy, you understand that people make mistakes. You understand that people sometimes need to be forgiven. And you understand too that relationships, like to have positive relationships, you do have to accept, you don't have to accept, there are things we shouldn't accept in relationships. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is when people make little missteps with how they speak, or if they make a, off-color joke, you have forgiveness. You're willing to talk about it and not just cut people off right away. So you have this kind of beautiful forgiving energy, okay? You know how to get at the heart of things and move forward with that kind of in motion energy. I think you're a deep feeler. You like balance. You really like balance, okay? You certainly will have a talent for artistic, interior design. All of these Venusian areas of life, you will have a knack for. And I think especially bringing beauty to everyday things. So when I think about that, I think about like paintings on a wall. So painting beautiful paintings, beautiful conversations, having beautiful words, but also things like pottery or working with your hands with the third house kind of energy here. And writing too. I think if you're a writer, you could be a poet. You could be somebody who, when you write, you really get to the heart of emotion. So you could have a talent for writing as well. There's so much beautiful energy here. People feel really at home around you, okay? You really create safe spaces for people. Sometimes even without saying anything at all, it's just your energy, okay? Your energy is balancing. Okay, you have very beautiful intentions. You do. You believe in people, like I said before. Okay, I think that's all that's coming through pile number one, that there's so many aspects of beauty that you are embodying. The last thing too, maybe that I didn't touch too much about is this Saturn in Capricorn in the 10th house. So I kind of feel what this means is, as well, I think you could build a career based on beauty. So like a skincare brand, right? Because you don't necessarily need to have makeup to be beautiful, but especially with this very earth energy, I see you as somebody who's just like a child of nature. Like you just are so at home in nature. You might have beautiful skin too. So like it might not be like a makeup brand, but it could be like a skin brand. Like you could like be an artist. You could be a potter, creating beautiful vases or things, or like beautiful, even in a more practical sense with the Capricorn, creating and the Taurus energy, like creating beautiful cookware or beautiful bowls or things that people use on an everyday basis. Okay. Yes, I think that's it. Pile number one. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you liked this reading, please, I would really love it if you give a like, or especially if you haven't subscribed, if you subscribe and help the channel grow. I really like bringing these messages to you. This was beautiful energy to tune into. So thank you, Pile One, for tuning in today and letting me do this reading for you. All right, I hope you have a beautiful and blessed rest of your day. Until next time, bye-bye. Hi, pile number two, and welcome to your reading. So today we're looking at what is beautiful about you. So it could be your personality, what other people see in you that's beautiful, like physically, or how you make people feel, or just something innate about you that is very beautiful, like your personality. Okay, so this is your pile. If you were drawn to the number two, if you were drawn to the orchid, or if you were drawn to the fluorite crystal. So before we get started looking at all of the pre-shuffled cards, just for full disclosure, I wanted to tell you, normally I don't turn over the cards or look at them beforehand. However, my last video did get put as 18 plus because, well, I didn't even realize it, but it did have, maybe too much exposure, as some tarot cards do, of, certain body parts. So I just wanted to make sure everything is, safe for anyone to look at in this video. So I have already seen the cards. I just feel it's important to know. So of course the messages, I've already started to think about them a little bit already. But that's just for full transparency. I want you to know that. But I haven't, really started interpreting them yet, and we'll do that together as we go through. But the first thing I want to say is what's beautiful about you, pile number two, is that you're very refined. You have a very refined and kind of mature beauty, almost practical. And I would say for me, orchid, aside from being, we have sensuality, okay? So it's like all of the senses are fully available to you. And I feel like other people can see that. They can see how much you just enjoy living. And that is something that makes you beautiful, because I think you help other people be grounded in the moment. But let's get started. Let's flip everything over so we can go through it all together. All of the energies that are here today that show you how you're beautiful. So of course we have orchid, and we have 11th path, okay, the Fool. So again, you're pile number two, and then we have an 11 here, so that's confirmation if the number two is very important to you, okay, because 11 breaks down to 2. We have practicality with moon in Capricorn. We have Venus in Virgo here with discrimination. We have Jupiter in the 11th house in Aquarius. We have the Hanged Man. Fog with veiled. We have the Jester with a type of garden rose. We have Earth Ox with one with the universe. The element of air. And also, maybe I want to move this here. The Sun. So lots of energies here today. Now, something I want to say, the energy in this pile is very interesting, and in some ways it feels very air and earth, similar to pile 1, so you may have been drawn to pile number 1 as well, okay, pile number 2. But it is unique and distinct in some ways. So for one, there is like a true duality here, I feel. Oh, and also before we get started too, these are the same from last video. I just want to roll these dice and also get just a little bit more. So what is a particular sign, you know, from 1 to 12, that might be very important for your beauty, pile number 2. 11, so again, we have Aquarius here and confirmation with 11 and 2 here, so the number 2 could be very important to you, that's confirmation. So with the 11th house, that is your like, it's like the community, okay? It's like an influence on the community. I have a feeling I don't know if you could be, but you might be somebody who is like interested in psychology or therapy, and you might be somebody that is like the like therapist of your friends, and you make them feel better after talking to them. Okay, and also what particular, I believe that was the like sign or house, and then again, you know, like what other sign or house could be very important for your beauty, pile number 2. Okay, so we have the 9th house here. Okay. Again, so that's, you know, has to do with ideas. It's Sagittarius energy. So that has to do with ideas, higher education, and things like that. So something else I'm getting is something about you that's beautiful is that you inspire other people, because you have gone through, I think, a lot of, it could be higher education, but I think that you do a lot for your community. Maybe you volunteer your time. You're kind of a humanitarian. You are somebody that I think gives back to your community, and that's something that makes people just say, wow, that's just such a beautiful thing to do, a beautiful way to spend your time. But also I feel that you have a level of self-mastery, or just mastery over something. And a very unique way of thinking about things. There's so many messages coming through. So in general, I will say what I'm feeling is that you are very practical, you are quite grounded, but you have a gift for communicating and using levity or lightness to inspire other people, to change their mind, to influence them with the 11th house here and all of this Uranus and Aquarius energy that we have going on here. You know, we have the element of air, so it's very mercurial, very mental energy, but at the same time, again, very earth energy, very grounded. We have, you know, Capricorn, Virgo, we've got Earth Ox. You are somebody who, you make things more clear. You help people see what's important in life, and that's a beautiful gift. You help them change their mindset and become more enlightened through changing their mindset. The Hanged Man to me really reminds me, I actually can't remember the astrological association right now, but it really does remind me of Aquarius with the like different mindset, and how so often Aquarius energy is so innovative. It's so different, it's so unique. So there is a duality here in this earthy practical and then the very radical unique. And then we also have the sun here too, purpose, vision, and self-mastery. So again, an orchid is something that is refined. You see it, I feel. Well, it's in a tropical, well, actually there's orchids all over the world, but this kind of an orchid you would see in like a tropical environment. And orchids are just stunningly beautiful. So I do feel there could be something uniquely or stunningly or like innovatively beautiful about you. So you could be beautiful in a unique way, like unique, strong features. Like I'm looking at this particular god here with the kind of beak as a nose or things. So I think you could have a very striking and unique, strong beauty. So maybe strong features, maybe even dark features and like light features contrasted. So strong contrast with this kind of duality I'm feeling. So like that could be like having black hair and blue eyes, or having really pale hair like blonde and then brown eyes, or having maybe very very dark skin and lighter eyes, or very light skin and darker eyes. Just there's some element of perhaps some contrast. Not for this doesn't have to be for everybody, but this just could be the case. Okay, something else that makes you beautiful is your dedication, I think, to your the advancement of yourself. So I'm seeing here that somebody who, like a therapist or somebody, has gone through a lot of higher education to get where they are. If you, I always imagine if you go to somebody who's mastered something like a lawyer or like a doctor, a therapist, if you've gone through that process of self mastery, and you're sitting in their office, a lot of them will have, these little touches of refined beauty from nature in their offices, which is very, especially you're seeing this earth energy here, but um, they'll have like orchids in their office, or especially in higher education, a teacher might have orchids in their office, something like that. So I think something that's very beautiful is your self-mastery. Now another message of the orchid, and self-mastery, and also like how you have the heights you have achieved, and how you have kind of like practically achieved material success in the world. It's something that people admire, and it's something that is beautiful that you've been able to do that for yourself. With sensuality, though, it's different. This could mean, if you are something that's beautiful about you is that you're a lover. I think you're really a lover of life. I think you're, with all of this energy here, we've got the Fool, we've got the Jester, we've got the Sun. You're a lover of life. You enjoy your everyday life. With the Virgo energy in 6th house, you want to lead a beautiful life. I think you're somebody, maybe you make beautiful food, or like you present your food in a really beautiful way, like on the plate, and serve it to people. And that's a practical task. That's something you have to do every day, is eat. But you do it with a little bit of flair, refinement, and beauty. And you make healthy choices. So you're beautiful because of your commitment to health. So you could have a lot of physical beauty as a direct result of your everyday routines. I also think you could have a lot of you have this poised, I feel this poised but also joyful energy. So to me, you are somebody who I think you could connect well with like animals or kids for sure. So maybe you're a teacher, something along these lines, and you're able to you have an excellent ability to point out deeper truths in life through levity or through storytelling, with Virgo's kind of Mercury energy, but also with Venus in Virgo. I do feel that you have like also a pure energy too. So when it's coming to sensuality, I feel this is more like experiencing, being in the moment and experiencing the beauty of the moment, and being able to be quite grounded and pretty humble, I feel. So you're beautiful because even though you've worked so hard, you are still humble, and that's something that people really appreciate and they find beautiful about your spirit. They also really appreciate how you make them think about things differently. You're able to like take heavy emotions and like clear them away, like clear away the fog. Put light on the dark situations in a very refined way. So you're a great mentor, a great guide, and you give really sound but beautiful advice to help people live a more beautiful life. But yeah, you could have a very unique sense of style, like pairing unique colors together but making it work. Or even perhaps like with Aquarius, I think of things that are more striking or kind of unique and shocking and things like this. So you could be somebody who can pair like complementary colors, like opposites on the color wheel, and make it work. So like wearing green and red, okay, for example, or blue and orange, like this. Or in this card, right, we've got the purples and the yellow. So you could just be somebody who's very good at pairing these two opposite things and making it work, making harmony. What else is beautiful? There's so many messages here. So you are beautiful because you're funny too. You're definitely funny, okay? People laugh around you. You can make people laugh. And even though you've worked hard, you don't take yourself too seriously. And that is something that is very beautiful about you. So you make people feel like good because you make them laugh. I think you're pretty imaginative and practical at the same time. Like I said, there's a duality here. Um, I think you're have very fertile energy with this earth ox being one in the moment. So you're beautiful because you're quite grounded and you're able to help influence other people to be very grounded too and to inspire them to do good with their life, and to create beautiful change, to like be generous. I see a generosity here with this air energy, with this especially with this 11th house and kind of Aquarius energy. This is very generous energy, okay? You're open-minded, I feel too. So people don't feel afraid to come talk to you. You're quite open, which is a lovely gift to have. I think that you don't brag, like you are humble, and that's something that in your communication is beautiful. You never make people feel bad really about themselves, and you're always refined. So even though you're funny, you're not crude. Like you don't make like, or even if you do, it's not, even if you do make a joke that could be like shocking or surprising, it's not crude. Like it's never to make somebody, or even if it is crude, it's not to make somebody feel bad about themselves. You do care about how people feel. You're very refined. You keep it together. File number 2. I think too you have this fun, playful energy. So with sensuality too, like you could be, of course, like because you are somebody who's very in tune with your body. Something else that makes you beautiful, I think, could be that you like are a good. It could be that you are like a good lover, or that you like know how to dress. It could be that you know how to kind of set the mood, if that makes sense. So like especially with Virgo and everyday things, like making sure that the environment is very beautiful around you too, to kind of set the mood for something, and for people. You're beautiful because you light up a room with the sun too. And also, like, an orchid is like a showpiece kind of flower. It's very beautiful, and so is a rose. And so I feel too that you are very beautiful because, like, I actually think physically you're very beautiful. So it's kind of a show-stopping beauty, like a radiant beauty. So people can see your playfulness with the sensuality too, right? Like you might be very good at like bantering with people or teasing them, especially with this Aquarius, this ninth house Sagittarius energy. You're very smart, but I think you are still able to play. And that's something that's really beautiful. And that's why I said earlier, maybe animals, especially with the Virgo and sixth house energy, like Virgos or, kids could really like you too being around you. So you kind of have like, especially with Virgo, it's like an innocent beauty, as well, and a good imagination. I think you're a very truthful person with this Aquarius and with this Sagittarius energy and the Leo energy I'm seeing in the air energy, but you're not really blunt. It's you're able to be lighthearted about it and say it in a way that's refined, like truths, and still get people to think, to reconsider things. And you too have an interesting way of thinking about things. You can change people's minds without embarrassing them. That's something too. And people appreciate you for that, like that you have that ability to not make people feel, you're not arrogant. You don't make people feel stupid. I do think you have a lot of physical beauty. I don't think you lose your temper easily either. I think you stay calm with the earth ox and with the energy I'm seeing. I think you stay calm quite easily. I think you're able to lift the mood in a room easily and make the mood more beautiful in a room, especially if there's serious topics being discussed. You have a warm energy. You do have a warm energy. You make people feel inspired, for sure. Inspired through the actions that you take in life and also the words that you say. You're able to clear people's doubt really, really well. Okay, pile number 2, and you're able to influence people very easily. Like you could be somebody who is like a speaker. Okay. So there's this very practical, but also very joyful and lighthearted energy within you. It's a very interesting duality. You are a truthful person for sure. You have faith too. You have faith in the universe and that things will be okay. And you're very focused on the moment, on now, on today, on how your everyday routines, practical routines will benefit you. And you know that they'll benefit you in the everyday, that your habits really stack up. But also you have kind of a spiritual faith that things will be okay, that they'll work out, and that inspires other people too. I do think people do find you very beautiful, like show-stoppingly beautiful. Like, you could be people's kind of dream person. You could tease people, I think, a lot easily. With the energy I'm seeing here, with the air energy, you might look really good in sheer fabrics too, just as like a side note. You might look really good in like flower patterns or wearing clothing with flower patterns and stuff too. And even if it's like floral, you still look professional. But yeah, things that are sheer, things that are floral. You might even look good. I feel like you look good. You pull off a lot of different kinds of styles, pile number 2. So that's something that's very beautiful. You're very well kept. I feel like you always have your like fingernails trimmed and like you put a lot of care into your everyday appearance. And that's something that people do notice and that they consider to be beautiful. It's like the effort you put in is beautiful. Yeah, you can change the mood of a room too, people's mood very easily. You have influence. Okay, I feel like I think that's a lot of messages coming through. This is a very peaceful energy. This is an energy of helping people feel that all is well. You're very good at taking people if they're kind of like in a crisis of overthinking. You're very good at helping people be grounded through what you say and the energy. You lead by example, and you're somebody, I think, who works very hard, and people admire that. You work very hard on your inner and outer self. Okay, so definitely want to commend you for that. I think you do have a very fertile energy too, with the earth ox, with the practicality I'm seeing, with the sun and all of the flowers. So you know that patience will make things grow, and you do have a desire to work hard and make something of yourself, and you want to also lift up other people in the process. You really do have a heart. You're very generous. I feel like you could give money easily, like to different causes or nonprofits or things like that, and that's something people notice. You manifest easily too. I don't know if you know, but maybe you know. Other people notice this too. You do manifest quite easily through what you say or what you can imagine. Because part of it's because you do work so hard, you're not afraid to put in the work. But you also, because you do have this trust in the universe, you are very good at manifesting. Okay. This is a very interesting energy. It's mature, it's refined, but it's also playful and kind of childlike and like innocent and lighthearted. It's like you're very versatile. You can switch it up depending on the situation, and there's lots of aspects of you that are very beautiful, and you bring a lot of beauty to every room that you come into. You have a beautiful mindset, you could say. Okay, thank you, pile number 2. This was a very interesting reading. Your energy is very interesting, very, like, this duality is very engaging. And I believe I said everything. Yeah, those are the messages I'm getting for you today, pile number 2. If this pile did resonate, you can feel free to... oh yeah, the other thing I wanted to say is like, people often give orchids, especially as a gift. So something about you with that generosity, you also give like advice, wisdom, and things like this, or jokes. It's like a gift you give people. Like people love the gift of your attention, and that makes them feel like chosen and beautiful in the moment when they get the gift of like you. Okay, that just came through the thing I forgot. But other than that, those are the messages, pile number 2. Thank you for tuning in today. If you did enjoy the reading and you're not subscribed to the channel, I'd love it if you would subscribe and tune in for the next readings. I try to make a video for every Wednesday. And then if you liked the video, give a like. And if you did pick this pile and something resonated, I'd love to hear it in the comments below. Thank you, pile number 2, and have a beautiful day. Hi, pile number 3. Welcome to your pile today, and welcome back to my channel. It's wonderful to have you here. So today's message is all about what makes you beautiful. So it could be physical attributes, the way you make other people feel, something about it, a way you come across, something in your personality, anything like that. Anything that makes you beautiful. Okay, and then also one thing different today, before we get started. So my last video, which of course makes sense because some tarot cards could show, a little bit more skin than others. It did get flagged for like being 18 plus. So today, whereas normally I shuffle the cards, pre-shuffle the cards, and then we look at them together, I have already looked at them beforehand just to cover up anything that could flag that again. So that's just for full transparency, so you know, I have already looked at the cards and started thinking about the energy. However, for the most part, we'll still be unveiling it together. So today is majority oracle cards. However, there is still one tarot card too. And the message is what makes you beautiful. So this is your pile if you were drawn to the number 3, if you were drawn to the iris, or if you were drawn to the rainbow onyx. Now in the intro I forgot, I was gonna say onyx and then I questioned myself, but it is onyx, the rainbow onyx. So this is your pile. If this was your stone, this was your card. So without further ado, let's flip everything over and get started. So we have, of course, the iris. We've got our beautiful rainbow onyx. We have the Hierophant, Forest, Geburah with Severity, Mars Pillar. We have Death. So I think you're already seeing a theme. This could be your pile if you have strong Mars energy in your chart, so strong Aries or strong Scorpio energy. Especially with the Death card here, I'm feeling very strong Scorpio energy, but also Aries. Metal Pig. The Alchemist, so again, strong Scorpio transformation energy. We have the Star. You can see I've just had to block out some of it to be, safe for YouTube. Okay, and then we've got Jupiter in Sagittarius with Principle. We've got Moon in the 4th house in Cancer with Friendship. And we've got Moon in Leo in the 5th house. Now, I also just want to roll 2 dice as well, just to get some more. So what houses or sign from 1 to 12, assigning 1 to 12, 1 being Aries, 12 being Pisces, what energies make pile number 3 beautiful? Okay, so we have 2. So house number 2 or Taurus, and 4. So deepening of this Cancer energy that we're already feeling. Okay. So let's see. There's already so much coming through. So I feel a lot of root chakra energy in this pile, especially with these dark colors. So pile number 3, you might find that you really look beautiful. Like you might get compliments when you wear like dark purples, when you wear these like maroon colors, reds, or when you wear perhaps like navy blue or other more dark colors. And you are somebody who's beautiful because of how grounded you are, okay? You're very grounded. This flower, this iris flower, is stunning, and with Iridescent Muse, you are somebody who has been through a lot, and you are somebody who has managed to find a way to transform your pain into art. And you haven't lost your spark for life through difficulties. You haven't lost your ability to connect with other people through difficulties, which is very beautiful. Okay, so, there's so many things. So something that's beautiful about you is that you're authentic. You're so authentic, pile number 3. You do not pretend to be anybody else. You are totally present on your journey in this lifetime. You're here for it all, the whole experience. And you also want to share yourself and to share yourself with other people. So you are somebody who might have beautiful artistic talents with Muse and with Leo, and of course Cancer too can be very creative energy. You are able to probably express yourself very well through creative means. So what that means, especially seeing this like instrument here and the kind of abundant fruits and everything, I feel like with Moon and Leo, you are somebody who maybe even emotionally needs to express yourself in order to like be emotionally fulfilled. And you could be somebody with a great music sense, and that's something that makes you beautiful. Or maybe you really create a wonderful atmosphere around you through putting on different music, okay? You are a breath of fresh air, truly. You might get compliments too, like especially when we're looking at the fourth house, you might create a very beautiful home environment, maybe through putting on scents, like maybe forest, kind of like tree or nature, kind of essential oils, and creating an area that smells like clean and beautiful. You might like run air purifiers or things like this to create a beautiful environment for yourself and for your body to help you be clear-headed and create better. There's so much coming through. With the forest, yeah, you are definitely a breath of fresh air. Like you are like a person people go to be able to be truly themselves, to be authentic, to connect with nature, to connect spiritually. So people might ask you to go for walks or things like that so that they can experience you and clear their head. You are a grounding presence for people. Something else that's beautiful about you is that you are someone who is relatable. You're a very relatable person. You don't necessarily hide the fact that you've been through difficulty, okay? And you, through difficulty, have remained an inspiration to other people. And you have remained somebody who wants to connect, who wants to help other people, who extends a hand in friendship. You keep magic alive in this world with the fourth house. People, even who don't necessarily know you that well, still, to them, you feel like home. And for sure, for people who are close to you, like your friends, you really feel like home. You are very nurturing as a person through sharing your experience, especially. You do, like I said, you see the magic in the world, kind of like kids do, right? Like when you look at the moon in Cancer here, and how the one child is showing the other child this beautiful crane, I believe. And I think these are cornflowers around. You are somebody who still sees so much beauty in the world, and you want to share that with other people. So share in the magic of the world. And when somebody reaches out a hand to you, you reach out back. And you are something that's coming through extremely strong, especially with this kind of Leo energy I'm feeling too. I feel this Leo energy is very strong, and this Scorpio energy is very strong. You are incredibly loyal, and Cancer is incredibly loyal too. Taurus is also extremely loyal. And with principles and with the second house, that second house has to do with your material world, how you see yourself, your self-esteem, your values, ways of making money in the world and things like that. So there is some Taurus energy too here coming in, which just seconds that kind of Venus energy in a grounded way. But to keep going, you really see the magic in the world. You are somebody that kind of keeps magic alive through the artwork you create and just through the person you are. You are loyal, like almost impossibly loyal. It's extremely admirable, and it's something that makes you extremely beautiful. People really admire that about you. You could have really beautiful hair with this Leo energy. Again, with the second house, fourth house, you could have a really nice figure too, as something that makes you beautiful. Truly, I'm seeing that darker colors could really bring out your beauty. You're somebody too that you might look very beautiful if wearing like any sort of headscarf. I'm seeing a couple different kinds of head coverings throughout the cards here. So you are somebody that could look very beautiful when you are kind of like, I don't want to say covered up, but it's when like kind of peekaboo moments, like where maybe you're veiled a little bit and it really draws attention to your stunning eyes or something like that. I also do feel you look very good in red. So that is something to keep in mind. It's like a power color for you with this Mars energy. With the onyx, this is a root chakra crystal too, which is why I'm kind of feeling extra Aries energy as well, because Mars rules Aries and Aries is associated with the root chakra. But I'm also feeling that Scorpio energy kind of equally. So you're very deep. You're a very sensitive person. You're very deep. You're very authentic. You do not make small talk, pile number 3, but nobody blames you for it. Nobody feels that you're rude because of it. In fact, they just feel you're being authentically yourself. You are somebody, I do think you might have a lot of musical or artistic ability, like visual arts, but especially musical ability. You are somebody that might connect like deeply to others through poetry or music. You are somebody that might connect very deeply to other people through like lyrics, through music. So you might like get together in the park with people just to listen to music, or like those moments driving with like a special friend in the car listening to music might be really special to you. Or you might be somebody who like really hangs out in the car after driving. Even though you've been like parked and ready to go inside the store or back inside your house for a while, you might hang out, kind of not linger, but you might just hang out for a while until you finish the song. I think music's very important. You might be somebody who has, especially with the moon being in, you know, the sign that's traditionally ruled by the sun, I feel that you might be somebody who, this reminds me, there's I think it's Chemtrails Over the Country Club song by Lana Del Rey. She speaks about having this placement, like moon in Leo. So you might have a very beautiful voice. I do kind of feel like with Leo in general, I feel like an old kind of Hollywood vibe. So I really think you might have beautiful hair. And if you cover your hair, you might get a lot of attention and it might be very beautiful. You are somebody too, with Muse, you inspire other people. You inspire other people to live their authentic self. You inspire other people to stand up for what they believe in, because you lead through action. And you are somebody who is so genuine. You don't mince words, I feel. I don't feel that you say something unless you fully believe it's true. Okay? You stand up for people. So you're like a warrior. And that's something that's beautiful about you. And a lot of people admire it about you. You stand up for people. You take people under your wing and bless them with your wisdom and with your advice. You have strong emotional connections to the people around you. Life with you is never dull either, let me tell you. Especially, like, look how, with this 4th house, this is such innocent fun. Like, you have adventures with people, like, whether it's in the city, going out into nature, like, no matter what, you're able to really connect and just enjoy being in the moment with other people, or with yourself. You can be independent or be with other people very easily. You can switch between those energies. You are somebody who also, like, you don't get too hung up on the small things, okay? You do take a more bigger picture approach with this Jupiter in the 9th house with Sagittarius. So you don't get too caught up on the little things. That's why sometimes some people could say you're rude when you talk, but you're not. You're actually one of those people that's authentic. Like, you tell it like it is, but not in the annoying way where people say, you know, I'm just telling it like it is, and then they say something totally unhinged. That's not you. It's just that you say things and you really mean them. And you're not too worried about how it comes across, because you trust that the people who get it will get it. The people who truly you have that emotional connection with. You're definitely a mentor, and you give people hope. With the star. So that's something that's beautiful about you, is you really do have a strong emotional connection to the people around you. You're a very loyal family member. You're a very loyal friend, and that's beautiful. I think you're also close with your spirit guides. They are very close to you. They watch over you. For me, that's a meaning of Iris. That's not like remember, these are channeled messages, so this won't necessarily be a message that pops up if you Google spiritual meaning of Iris, but to me, This is like a strong connection with, to me, this means strong connection with ancestors. For me, you are somebody who is pretty fiery. So you're dynamic, okay? That's why I say life is never dull with you. You always have an adventure to go on, always something good advice to give, always something to say when it's asked of you. But I also feel you can sit in silence too and just enjoy the moments with other people, enjoy experiences. You are all about experiencing life and being quite in the moment. And you transform negative situations into maybe not positive ones, but you can transform negative emotions into something else, like art, like music. You can transform an argument into closeness, for example, or something troubled that you had to maybe let go of, you can transform it into wisdom. And you have a lot of belief in yourself, and that's a beautiful gift. You also believe in other people, and that's a wonderful gift to give them. And you stand up for them. Something else you might get like complimented on, and that might be beautiful, is like you might smell really good with breath, and with the alchemist, like this rose here, and with I don't know if you've ever smelt an iris, but they actually smell very good. Especially, I've smelt before a dark purple iris like this, and it smelled really good. So you actually might smell very good, pile number 3. You're not greedy either. You are somebody who is very generous, I feel. And you are able to let go with grace of things. So if you want to give something to someone, you let it go. If you want to give advice, you let it go with goodwill. You're honest, okay? You're very honest, and that is so beautiful, really. A lot of people could stand to be a lot more honest in this world. And so you're always authentically yourself, and you accept that the people who are meant to be in your life will stay in your life. And you feel very deeply. And you inspire, you have close friendships. You might not have a huge amount of people in your life, okay? But the people who you do have, you've probably had them in your life for a long time, and you're very close with them, and you protect them. You're creative. That is a beautiful gift you have. You are very creative. And you trust your heart, okay? You're very you're very strong. You have like an ability not just to protect other people, but it's almost like you're willing to like carry them on your back for a while. Like when people are not strong, you let them lean on you. You lend them your strength, and that is a beautiful gift to give. You see yourself in others, and you see yourself in others. You see you see the humanity. But above all, you love creating a home, really. You feel very at home in nature, very at one in nature. You do feel very at home being by yourself or alone or in this leadership position, for sure. But also you feel very good and at home being with one other person or close, smaller groups. This might not be your pile. Like if you're someone that loves to be in a crowd, in a huge group of people, and like going around a party, bouncing off all the energy, this might not be your pile. This energy is quite introspective. It's very authentic, very genuine, and I think you get tired easily of other people if there's too many people. Or, kind of like I said, small talk is maybe not your forte, but for good reason. Nobody holds it against you. I really feel you lead a very magical and blessed life, especially with this moon in Leo. Like, you see art and beauty everywhere, and you see opportunities to deepen friendships everywhere and to go on adventures. There is some Aquarius energy here too. I think you do have a huge depth of emotion and a huge depth of range. You even could be a good actor, though. With the Leo, always shows somebody who has acting potential or even comedian potential. Especially sometimes those who are comedians have been the ones who've been like hurt a lot in life. So you might find too that you can make other people laugh, or something like along those lines. You can like make art out of pain, or like make comedy out of pain in a way. Okay. I think too you inspire people to be like more principled and honest and authentic. Like that is an influence you have on other people. But at the same time, you really like to have your home to go back home to. And through having close connections with other people, having alone time, nurturing other people and like giving them advice, good blessings, being generous to them, also gives you self-esteem. It builds up your self-esteem. You are somebody too, you do get along, you do collaborate well with like one other person. I think you really do good in pairs or independently. I think you see the world through a very, very interesting lenses. It's like multiple different lenses. You really have an unlimited manifestation ability, I feel. You are somebody, above all, I will say, although you could sometimes seem harsh, you are kind. It comes from a kind place. It comes from a heart-centered place. You're harsh, maybe sometimes, but only in the service of being honest or in telling somebody the truth. So you believe more so in a harsh truth than a pretty lie. I do feel that. And you feel you can be 100% authentic in expressing yourself with artistic expressions. And that makes you feel it's really an expression of the self. You also finish what you start, I feel, which is a gift. And that's something that people really admire about you and that they find really beautiful is you finish things all the way through to the end. What you start, you do finish. And so you're kind of careful what you do start. So you have good boundaries too, and people admire that about you. I think you have very beautiful eyes. You might have intense eyes or like dark brown eyes or something along these lines. It doesn't mean you have like light kind of like eyes, but you could have brown eyes, I feel. Like very, very grounded, very earthy eyes or brown hair. Especially in this pile. Very close connection with the sacral chakra energy and the with the Scorpio and of course the solar plexus and the root chakra as well. And root chakra too, especially with second house, having to do with self-esteem and things. Getting through difficult things in your life has built up your self-esteem. And people really admire your resilience and your wisdom. You're very wise, like an ancient tree or like a spiritual leader or like somebody who has faced loss and crossed to the other side. As long as you're around, people don't feel alone, and they really find that beautiful. They find your presence a beautiful gift in their life. Okay, that was a lot of messages that came through. It kind of feels like where you put your attention, things just turn to gold, you know? So if you put your attention into a relationship, like it's a very good relationship. If you put your attention into creating art, it's very good art. That was a lot of beautiful things about you that people find beautiful. Again, you might look very good in dark colors. All right. Thank you so much, pile number 3, for tuning in. If you're not subscribed to the channel and you enjoyed this reading at all and you want to see more, I try to post every Wednesday, so feel free to subscribe to see more. And if anything resonated in this pile, feel free, I'd love to read the comments, so please feel free to leave a comment or just to like the video if you want to help support my channel. Thank you so much. This is beautiful energy. Thank you. I think I know some people in my life who would have this energy. So it was very, very nice and fun to read this one. Maybe listen to that Lana Del Rey music if you enjoy that sort of music. Really getting that with the like sun and moon and that song, Chemtrails Over the Country Club. Enjoying everyday life with the people close to you. All right. You really empower other people by empowering yourself. You are a very empowered person. All right. Thank you so much, pile number 3. Until next time. Bye-bye. Hi, pile number 4, and welcome back to my channel, Mythic Rose Tarot. It's really lovely to have you joining me today. So in this pick-a-card pile, this is your pile if you picked the number 4, if you picked the buttercups with honoring yourself, or if you were interested in the pyrite, if you were very attracted to the pyrite stone today. So, the question, of course, as you know from the introduction, is what makes you beautiful. So what do people find beautiful about you? Maybe innately what's beautiful about you, like your gifts, your strengths, the way you come across, maybe anything physical if it comes out, anything like that. And today we have a mix of oracle cards from different decks and also one tarot card, so mostly oracle cards today. Just in the interest of full disclosure, I have seen these cards before, so I'll flip them over with you, but I did have to check the cards beforehand because last video I made, it did get flagged for like too much like skin exposure basically on one of the tarot cards, which I never thought to check that, but I guess it makes sense. So just to keep things, within all guidelines and to keep things open for everybody to be able to watch this video, I just checked them out beforehand, and then anything I felt could perhaps flag it again, I've just covered with like a sticky note. So just so that you know, this isn't my first time seeing the cards, but we'll be interpreting them together as we go through. I always like to be as honest as possible, so just letting you know that. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into it. Let's flip over everything and look at them together. So we have Buttercup with Honoring Yourself and Pyrite. I love Pyrite. I think it's one of my favorite gemstones. I find that energy very grounding, very transformative, very good for manifestation. And also for me, I feel it's very good for protection. There's many times where I will sleep with this stone to help, dreams come true faster, or also just for protection. I find I have a better sleep with it. Also Celestite, which is right here. We have some Celestine. Okay, Buttercup's Honoring Yourself. So let's flip over the rest. We have the Empress. So we've got some Venus energy here. The Tree of Life. Beautiful. New Moon with Promise. Fire Ox. Ooh, sorry, I hit my stand here. Hopefully it settles out there. The Scientist. Splendor. You can see my sticky note. I don't know. I don't know exactly what it'll flag, so I covered anything I thought could possibly flag the system. Okay. Wheel of Fortune is the one tarot card to represent what is beautiful about you. And we have Mercury in 8th house with Scorpio with extremism. We have Mercury in the 1st house with Aries with restlessness. And we have Saturn in Libra with devotion. So lots of energy coming through here today at pile number 4. I also want to roll 2 dice just to get some additional signs and houses. So Spirit, what signs or houses could be important for, finding out what makes pile number 4 beautiful? So we've got 7 and we've got 5. Ooh, interesting. So this could be Leo energy, 5th house energy, or Libra or 7th house energy. Maybe you have Leo in the 7th house, or maybe you have Libra in the 5th house, anything like that. Or maybe you just have Leo or Libra quite prominent in your chart. Other energies I think are very prominent here are, well, Scorpio, for sure Scorpio, or, Aries. There's some Libra here, but I think Scorpio is quite, and also Leo are quite prevalent. So actually you might be interested in pile number 3 if you were also attracted to pile number 3. Maybe not, only take that message if it feels right. Let's get into it though. So this is about what makes you beautiful. And the first thing that I want to say is that you are somebody who has a strong and powerful aura, really. So that is something, your aura is very magnetic, it's very alluring, and it makes you very beautiful. People just want to look at you. When you walk into a room, all eyes are on you. I think you're very magnetic. I think you look amazing in red and black. You could have like black hair or like some sort of darker features. It doesn't have to be though. It does not have to be that way though. No matter what kind of features you have beautiful eyes. You have eyes that people want to look at forever because they feel they could just get lost in your eyes, in the depths of them. You have very Scorpio intense eyes, okay? Really, truly, that eyes are the window to the soul idea. You are somebody who just also, though, at the same time as you hold this kind of deep transformative energy, you also walk in the light. You're somebody who, good luck, kind of good karma, people can tell with you, not to mess with you because you are so protected, okay? But it's also, it's like this fierce kind of beauty, like this this intense beauty that you have, okay? Striking. You're very striking. Whether or not you have soft features or harsh features or anything like that, you are very strikingly beautiful. And to people, they feel like you just like walk in the light. You make people kind of like aware of themselves too. You just have a very powerful aura. There's really no better way to describe it. You have good karma though. People can tell you're protected. They can tell maybe not to mess with you. That you are very beloved by spirit, I feel. You radiate spirituality. You radiate, I would say, fertility, sensuality. Really and truly, you are somebody who seems very spiritual and very in touch with the spiritual side of life, and that's very beautiful. You are also somebody who I think is very truthful. You are not fake. And this message is similar to Pile 3 if you are interested in Pile 3. You are somebody who is authentic and you really radiate truthfulness. You also radiate confidence in how you speak. You're very confident with how you speak and assured. And you, again, you might say messages and they might come across as harsh sometimes. But again, people don't begrudge you for it, okay? It just comes across as authentic in your communication. And communication is here. It's strongly here. We have the Mercury coming out 3 times, essentially. So you are actually a very good communicator, a very strong communicator. I feel you communicate with a lot of, I don't want to say force, more like you're very assured when you communicate. People trust what you say because you believe what you say, okay? You communicate with an intense intelligence. That kind of like Gemini combined with Scorpio energy, where it's like you have thought very deeply and explored very widely all of your thoughts. But at the same time, we've got some Libra energy here. So you're not that harsh when you are communicating, actually. You do care what other people think. You don't want to hurt their feelings too much, really. But you want to be truthful at the same time. You are somebody who, especially when I said walk in the light too, that's that Wheel of Fortune as well. Like people look at you and they feel that you are kind of like good things are coming to you that's blessed. It's like you have good karma and your manifesting power is very strong. And that's very magnetic and in a beautiful way. The Scientist too, again, something that's beautiful about you that people think is that you don't give up. You are you're very opinionated, especially with the Scorpio, and you say your opinions. And if you say something, you stand by it, okay? And you are not fake. Like if you smile, everybody knows that you mean it. And that lights them up too. So people feel very happy if they're able to get you to laugh or smile. It feels like a big accomplishment for them. If you give a compliment, people take it very seriously, and you might even find that people blush easily even when you just make eye contact with them because they find you like attractive and intimidating. But it's not necessarily that you're intimidating. It's probably just that they're intimidated by you because you are also somebody, like you are somebody who is caring, but you do have some walls up. But also those walls can make you, it is something that people find beautiful about you, that kind of inaccessibility. Something else is that you are always trying to improve your life. You're always trying to make things better. You are always asking the right questions for how to improve things. Like I said, you think about things very deeply and you feel very deeply. And you really care about things that you endeavor to start. You do have this kind of nurturing fertility kind of energy. With the 5th house, again, that's kind of Leo energy coming through a little bit. So lots of fire energy, lots of root chakra. You come across as very grounded. Everything you say feels thoughtful and intentional. And you word it well. You communicate in a way where you come across as extremely intelligent because you are, and extremely eloquent because you are. Although, sometimes, a little harsh, but that's okay. You never give up hope, though, with honoring yourself. So if you have a true belief, and, you know, with this fire ox, you never give up hope. And that is something that inspires other people. You have a very strong trust that, like, better times are coming. that you will get your gifts and you will get your manifestations. So you have a very good, easy time like with manifestation because you also know what to let go of and when to start your new journey and when to start new. And other people find that very beautiful, how you're able to let go very gracefully with certain things. Why don't we read, actually? With the new moon, let's read a little bit about promise. I didn't read things too much for the other groups, but let's go ahead. So, give me one moment, pile number 4. Let me find it. Sometimes it can take a minute to find things in the guidebook. That's why I try not to read too much, but I just don't want to miss any message from this one. Okay. So, we've got the couple looking up at the new moon, welcoming the promise of their love. The crescent opens up its arms to the nearby planet Venus, which we have here. And we do have Venus energy coming through here, as well as 7th house Venus energy. So there is Venusian energy quite strongly in this pile, actually. This is a time for manifestation, beginnings, and renewal. And that the trust that our desires will come to fruition. Yeah. So grandmother moon initiates lunar cycles, moving back from darkness to fullness and back again. With the promise of what is to come embedded in the first glimmer of her light. Yeah. So exactly as I was saying, you are somebody, people find it very beautiful how you're able to trust and let go and then bring in your manifestations quite quickly. You might deal with some jealousy quite a bit, a little bit of evil eye. However, most of the time, people, they almost look at you in like, not wonder or awe, but just very much like they will ask themselves, how do you do it? Wow. They really admire you, pile number 4. You are somebody who is stubbornly yourself, absolutely. And you forge your own path forward based on what you believe in, and you are always true to your word, and you are always true to your heart and true to your desires. And that is basically your strength. With 5 here and the 8th house, your strength is something that people really admire and they find that beautiful about you. Just this strong energy. You might find that you are especially magnetic if you wear like red, if you wear black, as I said before. Darker colors could be, or even gold or yellow, especially with the 5th house and the sun coming out. So wearing metals or gold could really tap into that kind of beauty, that strong beauty. You're very striking looking. You have a lot of profound knowledge too, and people find that very beautiful. Like you know the moment, and you can kind of like drop a truth bomb on somebody and really make them think about what they're doing or saying. So you do have some influence too. You love very deeply. You love with a lot of intensity, and that's something that people find very beautiful, is they see that when you're willing to defend that which you love, and that for you is honoring yourself, which you always do. So you have a very strong sense of self. You have a very strong, you're very courageous. You have very beautiful eyes, a very beautiful gaze. Just, I'm looking at the eyes kind of everywhere here. You feel very supported and connected, and you trust the divine, trust the universe. You have very confident body language, and people find that beautiful. You could definitely look good in a blazer, I'll say that. But also just the way you use words with all this Mercury energy is very beautiful. Especially when you use it, like I said before, to compliment people. They might blush or remember it forever. They might write down, pile number 4 said this to me today in their diary and remember it forever. But I also see here with the 7th house, justice. I see a sense of justice here. You want to know the truth. You want to know the answer. That's what we have with this Scorpio deep thinking energy, this scientist energy of always continuing to push forward and ask the right questions. People think it's very beautiful the way you talk. Absolutely. They admire your big vocabulary, I think. Sometimes you might use words and people don't know what they mean, which also doesn't always help how people might feel intimidated by you. But it's okay. They know that you're just very intelligent and you are very composed. You do keep your own counsel quite a bit. You're intuitive though. You're very, Scorpio is deeply psychic, deeply intuitive. Things that you want to happen seem to come into fruition and you can nurture them very well. I think you're selective in who you nurture too, and people admire that. They like that you don't give your energy away easily. You command a lot of respect and admiration actually. And I think people think about you a lot with this kind of mental and Scorpio energy, and you might psychically know that people think about you a lot. Maybe imagining what it's like to be with you, maybe just, imagining that you give them praise, something like that. But you're also somebody, you really deeply care. I feel like with the Empress, and I feel like with some of what I'm seeing, I think you also use your intense ability to speak and influence through words. Like what you care about is, and honoring yourself, you will put words to important causes. So like I feel you really care about the environment, and I think that is something that you can speak on powerfully. So if there is something, it doesn't have to be an environment, but if there's something you really believe in, you can speak on it very powerfully and you can make a difference. And something else people think is beautiful about you is your resilience. It's kind of, to other people, they look at it and they can tell you've been through a lot and they're amazed really at how you've made it through. I feel too, despite this kind of like Scorpio energy, which sometimes holds grudges, I feel that your energy is more so one of like allure, mystery, but like honesty and more interested in like growing and manifesting. I feel that you don't really hold grudges. I feel that letting go is an integral part in moving forward and moving the wheel forward. And that good times really do come and go. So you do have some forgiveness, and people find that beautiful, how you're able to let go of some things very easily. I think your body language is something people really look at. It's like you hold your shoulders high and you stand your ground. And you say what's on your mind. You say what you think. Now with this Libra energy though, you do love very deeply. So if it's a cause, you love that cause. If it is like a person, I do feel that like you feel more complete when you have a person in your life, like someone to love. And that person feels very treasured by you when they have your love. And so people sometimes might even look at the love you share and the way you like defend the person you're with. So if anyone had a negative word to say like about your partner, your romantic partner, or even a friend, I feel like with the Libra and the devotion, I feel like you will stand up for them. You will stand up for people in rooms they're not in, maybe in rooms they're not allowed in work. If there's somebody you believe in, like you will not allow people to talk about them behind their back or say injustices, like speak unjustly about them. I hope that makes sense. So you're very fair, actually. You're very fair, actually, and that's something people think is very beautiful because not everybody has experienced that kind of devotion where somebody will stand up for them when they're not in the room. You are quite serious, but people like that about you. And they also they trust that when you actually make them smile, they know that they really made you smile. You don't just smile to be fake. You're a very natural person. I do feel you really care about the environment. Okay, you carry yourself firmly, I feel, and you do make decisions very confidently. And people really admire that. They love that about you. That is something that they think is very beautiful, that firmness that you have. You're not wishy-washy. Even though there's some of this Libra energy, you're not really wishy-washy. You have a strong sense of self with this fifth house energy. And again, that's the partnership too. So we have partnership in two ways. Like fifth house is like more love affairs, and then the seventh house is more partnership. I think both are very important in your life. And you'll defend them. Yeah, you ask really good questions too. Like when you want to get to know somebody, you ask really good questions. You kind of skip all the fluffy questions, like what's your favorite color? And you can get right down into the nitty-gritty easily, and people find that very beautiful, how you can navigate more deeper conversations with ease. Whew, that was a lot of things that are beautiful about you that came through pile number 4. I think that's all I'm seeing for now. You're just you have a very inspirational energy. You have a very strong energy. You definitely have a lot of physical beauty and physical prowess, but it's also your mind and how intellectual you are. You definitely need to have a mental and physical connection with another person in order to feel kind of happy and satisfied. And you're very devoted. You're a very devoted partner. And you're devoted to your ideas too. You're very strong. You're very strong. Okay, pile number 4. Those are the messages today. If you enjoyed the reading, please feel free to give a like to the video to help out the channel, or to comment and tell me below what you thought of the reading. And then also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel and you want to see more, please, you can go ahead and subscribe as well. I try to post a video every Wednesday. Thank you so much, pile number 4. Until next time, bye-bye.